Entering the cave's gaping mouth was like inhaling a lungful of eternity. The air thinned, crackling with a strange, raw energy, like the air before lightning strikes. I grazed a hand against the damp, moss-slimed stone, feeling the crushing weight of centuries, the echoes of long-dead lives clinging to the frigid rock. Yet, as any seasoned archaeologist can attest, the past rarely unfolds as expected. The deeper we went, the more I felt like a moth drawn not just to light, but to something lurking in the dark. Glimmers caught in the beams of our headlamps beckoned, and we hurried deeper, fueled by equal parts curiosity and caffeine.
All right, so get ready because this deep dive, well, it takes us into a cave. And this cave is not like any other cave. In this cave, reality itself seems to bend.
Wow, yeah.
You know, you send in this excerpt, and it's from A.I. Freeman's The Glyphs Beneath. And let me tell you, this piece is anything but your typical archaeology adventure.
Yeah, it really kind of messes with what you would expect. You know, you think, oh, archaeology, you think Indiana Jones.
Right.
But this is not that. This is something totally different, you know.
Totally different.
We got Maya and Hampton, these two archaeologists,
Yeah.
and they're at the mouth of this cave, right? And right away, Freeman sets up this tension.
Oh, absolutely. Maya is like just buzzing with excitement. She can't wait to get in there. She's talking about uncovering forgotten cities and achieving archaeological immortality. But Hampton is not so sure.
Yeah, he's hesitant, almost afraid.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, what is it about these unknown places that both calls to us and terrifies us at the same time?
Right. It's like this primal push and pull, right?
You want to see what's there, but you're also kind of scared of what you might find.
Exactly. And Freeman really emphasizes that fear. His description of the cave is so vivid and kind of unsettling. It's like he's transporting you right into that atmosphere.
Oh, it is. And he does it with this incredible sensory language. You know, do you remember that line where he talks about the air feeling like inhaling a lungful of eternity?
Yeah.
So powerful. And it's not just a physical description.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's tapping into something deeper, this sense of timelessness of,
Yeah.
you know, all these ancient secrets kind of pressing down on you.
It's like the cave itself is a character.
Yeah.
Almost like it's alive.
Yeah, and then they find these glyphs.
And things get really strange.
Yeah. You know, most stories about ancient languages, they're all about, you know, deciphering them, translating the meaning. But Freeman does something different here.
Yeah, what does he do?
He makes the glyphs themselves active forces.
Right. They're described as almost like reaching out. Like
Yeah.
they have a consciousness of their own.
Exactly. And you know what I love about that? It sets the stage for Maya's transformation. Because it's not just about, you know, understanding a language. It's
Right.
about being changed by it.
So we usually talk about the power of words, right?
Yep.
But what if that power was literal? What if it was physical and transformative?
Yeah, what if the words themselves could change you?
And Maya's transformation is definitely physical. You know, she describes this experience. It's so visceral. She talks about the lines of rock buckling under her fingers.
Yeah.
And this terrible, exquisite joy washing over her.
It's like she's being reborn.
Yeah, but into something else, something other.
Yeah, this is where that early tension between Maya and Hampton really comes into play.
Right,
Remember how Maya was all about archaeological immortality?
right.
She gets it, but not how she expected.
Be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. Hampton even says that Maya doesn't look quite right.
This is not the immortality you read about in the textbooks.
No, it's something much stranger, and it makes you question, what does immortality even mean?
Yeah.
You know, in this context.
Yeah, is it about transcending the human form, or is it about losing yourself completely?
And then, boom,
Exactly
actual
right.
wings.
It's such a powerful image.
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
but it's terrifying. And it really makes you wonder what's happening to her.
Is she losing her mind?
Is it a spiritual awakening, or is she tapping into something that we don't even have words for?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes this story so unsettling. Freeman, he keeps us guessing. He doesn't give us any easy answers.
Right.
And that ambiguity just makes it more unnerving.
It's like you're lost in a maze.
Yeah.
Where the rules keep changing and you don't even know what the goal is anymore.
Exactly.
But there's this one small detail that really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
The weasel.
The weasel, huh?
Why a weasel?
You know, it seems so random at first, but when you think about it, the weasel is a creature of the shadows. It's a predator that often goes unseen. So maybe it's meant to symbolize the transformation itself, this hidden force that's been lurking beneath the surface all along. Right, or maybe it's a reflection of Maya's own transformation. Remember, she says, "Perhaps I've always been a mouse." So is she embracing this newfound predatory nature?
Interesting.
Or is she still trying to understand a world that she no longer fully belongs to?
It's fascinating. You know, the weasel, appears right after her transformation.
Yeah.
So could this be a hint that she's not just evolving, she's becoming something entirely new, something more aligned with that primal energy of the cave?
Yeah, and it makes you rethink that whole idea of archaeological immortality, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
It's not just about knowledge anymore. It's about something much deeper and much more unsettling.
You know, it's interesting how Freeman contrasts Maya's excitement at the beginning about this, archaeological immortality with what her transformation actually turns out to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's asking, are we really after knowledge, or are we just chasing some idealized version of ourselves?
And it's a good point. It's kind of like that myth about Icarus,
Yeah.
flying too close to the sun. Maya's desire for knowledge, her ambition, it leads her to this incredible discovery, but it comes at a cost.
And that cost seems to be her humanity, at least as we normally think of it, the way Freeman describes her transformation. It's exhilarating, but it's also disturbing.
Yeah.
She talks about this terrible, exquisite joy, this feeling of being unmade and remade.
Yeah. It's powerful, isn't it? That joy of transcendence, but mixed with the terror of losing yourself.
Yeah.
And that tension is what keeps you hooked. You're drawn to her transformation, but you're also kind of repulsed by it.
And do you remember that line about time feeling different in the cave?
Oh, yeah.
It's like it was foreshadowing that reality itself is bending around Maya as she changes.
Right.
Makes you wonder, is this a mental breakdown, or is she really experiencing a shift in perception?
Yeah, it's like she's stepping outside of, our normal understanding of time and space.
Yeah.
And as she does that, her language changes too.
Yeah.
Becomes more fragmented, more dreamlike. It mirrors what's happening to her mind.
It's like the story itself is changing along with her.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what makes Freeman such a good writer. He doesn't just tell you a story, he makes you experience it.
Yeah.
You feel that shift in reality right alongside the characters.
There's that moment when she cries out, "Fly, Maya!" It's like she's giving in to the transformation and embracing that power. But it's also a moment of, real isolation.
Oh, yeah.
Hampton is left behind, stuck in the world as he knows it, while Maya is, catapulted into this strange new territory.
It's a powerful image. It really shows the gulf that can open up between people when one of them goes through like a huge shift in consciousness.
Right. Hampton represents everything familiar and safe, and Maya represents the unknown and maybe even dangerous.
Exactly. And that's where the real psychological horror comes in. Even though she's gone through this incredible physical change, she's still struggling with what it all means.
Yeah.
She's not human anymore, but she's not something else either.
She's in between.
Yeah, caught in this liminal space where her identity is completely shattered.
It's interesting how Freeman uses the image of wings.
Yeah.
They usually represent freedom, transcendence, but here they also represent isolation, separation from the human world.
It's like she's been given this amazing gift, this ability to soar above her limitations. But she's also lost something important.
And that brings us back to the weasel.
Ah, yes, the weasel.
It appears after her transformation, almost like it's drawn to her new power.
Right.
Is it a sign that she's embracing her instincts? Or is it a warning about losing her humanity?
That's the question, isn't it? And she even asks herself, if she's always been a mouse.
Yeah.
Like maybe this transformation is just revealing something that was always there inside her.
So is it really a transformation, or is it more like, taking off a mask, showing the true self?
It's a good question. And that's what makes the Glyphs Beneath so compelling. It's not just about this woman changing into something else. It's about the potential for change that we all have.
Right.
It makes you think about what's hidden beneath the surface.
Mm-hmm.
What might come out if we embrace the unknown.
Yeah, it's like Freeman is saying, hey, look, you might not be as fixed or defined as you think you are. Maybe transformation is just part of being human, whether you like it or not.
And maybe that's the scary part or the beautiful part, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Are we just along for the ride, or are we actively shaping who we become?
You mentioned evolution, and it makes me think about the glyphs themselves. They seem to represent some kind of evolutionary leap,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A connection to a consciousness that's way older than humanity.
Right. They're not just symbols. They're like these vessels of ancient power that can rewrite the rules of existence. And by interacting with them, Maya becomes part of that ancient lineage.
It makes you wonder about what archaeology really is. What if it's not just about digging up old stuff, but about tacking into these forces that we barely understand?
And then what's our responsibility? Once we tap into those forces, Maya's transformation is like a warning, a reminder that some doors should stay closed. But it's also a story about how powerful we can be, about the potential for us to evolve beyond what we are now.
It's like one of those riddles that has no answer.
Yeah.
Freeman gives you all the pieces, but you have to put the puzzle together yourself, decide what it all means.
And that's what makes it so interesting. It doesn't give you easy answers. It makes you wrestle with the mystery to confront the unknown parts of yourself.
At the end, Maya's standing at the edge of this new reality. Her old life is gone, and Freeman writes, "Perhaps the universe still has a sense of humor after all." It's kind of a creepy line, but also hopeful in a weird way.
Yeah, it suggests that even when everything's changing, when the ground is literally shifting under your feet, there's still room for wonder.
Mm.
It reminds you that the universe is huge and unpredictable, and we just barely understand any of it.
This deep dive has taken us to the heart of a real mystery, to a place where it's hard to tell what's real and what's imagined. We've explored the allure of the unknown, the power of language to change us, and the possibility that we can evolve in ways we can't even imagine.
And as we come out of this cave of ideas, I think the big question is this. If you found a cave like that, would you go in?
Knowing that what happens to you might be beautiful and terrifying, freeing and destructive, would you risk losing yourself to find a new, maybe truer self?
That's the challenge. Freeman leaves us with the choice is ours. And the journey, well, it's when you have to take alone, just like Maya.
Well, this has been quite the exploration. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the glyphs beneath. Until next time, keep searching, keep asking questions, and remember the universe is full of mysteries both inside us and out there.